Welcome to Midnights with the Lizard Wizard, a podcast where Yael Midnight and I, Noel Midnight, listen through the entire King Gizzard discography from start to finish. This week we're listening to King Gizzard's 19th studio album, Made in Timeland, along with the Hat Jam LP, which consists of The Dripping Tap and Satanic Slumber Party. Theme music recorded by Beautiful Trainwreck.
Go 2 hours 40 again.
We really can't go 2 hours 40 again.
We better not go 2 hours 40 again.
And we're back. Yael, we are here. We're listening to Made in Timeland, and what we didn't tell people ahead of time is that we're also doing the Hat Jam LP, which comprises of The Dripping Tap and Satanic Slumber Party.
Yeah, that's right.
So I want to immediately dive in and get to what might be the most important track we've heard so far, one that's instantly iconic, one that we know is going to go down in the hearts of Giz fans forever. Tell me about Hoof and Horn.
No, let's start with Timeland.
Let's start with Timeland. We should start from the very beginning.
Yeah, we want to do this in order. That's part of the premise of the show.
It is, yeah.
Let's first start with why are we covering Hat Jam LP?
Yeah, let's get to that, because
And the answer is it's because we suck.
That is kind of the answer.
Kind of the answer is Made in Timeland. Y'all have listened to it. It's weird.
And not only is it weird, it's electronic music weird.
And we're not electronic music people.
We're not. We're trying so hard to be electronic music people. I've been listening to Massive Attack. I've been listening to The Prodigy. I've been fucking listening to more Skrillex and Fortet. I am putting in the work.
Boards of Canada for the first time.
Yes, I listened to Inferno yesterday. Thank you.
Yeah, and I listened to Gio Gotti, one of their other big records.
Okay, how was it?
As well, which was also very good.
Was it also really dark?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're listening to a lot more electronic music. Part of that is because alien metal is in the Giz news, and we want to be ready to talk about that. Obviously, that's a very different kind of electronic music than any of the things that we've just mentioned.
Except for The Prodigy, apparently.
Which I gotta say, it took me a couple of tries to get through the particular Prodigy album that we listened to.
The Prodigy album with the crab rave on it.
Yeah, that's called The Fat of the Land.
Yes, that one, yeah.
Yeah, I tried to listen to it a couple of times. It got better in the second half of the album, but I always kept turning it off in the first half of the album because I didn't like the first half very much.
Sure. Smack Your Bitch Up wasn't your vibe?
It wasn't my favorite track, no. I'm not necessarily saying I oppose the message. But yeah, so we're not experts on house music. We're not experts on techno music. And there is a lot of house music and techno music influence going on here. And quite frankly, I just don't know how to talk about a lot of stuff that's happening on Made in Timeland.
I don't have the vocabulary for it. I haven't listened to enough electronic music to know how to talk about the types of filter sweeps or the types of drum patterns that they're doing, because I don't know that shit.
Right. And so we're trying to do our homework. We're trying to get our listening in before we get to the Silver Chord, before we get to alien metal. And also,
presumably Laminated Denim's going to have more of this shit. Presumably. I don't know.
I don't think so at all. From everything I hear, Laminated Denim is very different from Made in Timeland in sound, and only similar in the sense that it's two 15-minute tracks.
Oh.
My understanding is that...
I thought they were closer than that. I thought they were more
my
like
understanding
sisters.
is that they're very different.
So I was imagining them as twins. Instead, they are sisters.
I think they're cousins.
They're cousins.
I think that from what I've heard, and again, we don't know. We haven't heard it. From what I've heard, Laminated Denim is more like Ice Death in terms of what it actually contains.
Okay, so that's why people actually seem to get stoked for Hypertension.
I want to listen to Hypertension so bad. I have hypertension. I'm annoyed that when I got diagnosed 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and I have to do all this annoying shit like take my blood pressure regularly and drink fucking LaCroix instead of fucking Dr. Pepper like I want to.
There's nothing wrong with LaCroix.
That's not a good flavor.
I was just going to say, there's nothing wrong with LaCroix as long as you find the right flavor.
Yeah, I've been trying to switch to LaCroix instead of drinking sugary pop like I normally do.
This is no way to prevent a 2-hour, 45-minute episode.
I know, but it's important.
Okay, go ahead.
And I just, so I'm trying all the flavors, trying to figure out which one's going to be my daily driver. And Raz Cranberry, it's not going to be you.
Noted.
So far, coconut is leading the running, but the guava Sao Paulo and the
limoncello
is good, but not good for being a daily driver.
That's fair.
It's too much like frosting. The other one I liked was the watermelon one.
Oh yeah,
Pastèque or something. It's named in French because it's trying to be fancy.
Sure. Isn't LaCroix a Wisconsin company?
Probably.
Fuck you and your fake Frenchness. You're not even Canadian. What are you doing?
It's not going to be this Raz Cranberry. That shit's gross. Anyway, we're also trying to listen to more electronic music. We want to try making some electronic music.
Yeah,
and you can't make shit if you don't listen to shit.
We bought a tracker this week. The
Polyend tracker. It was on deep discount at a local pawn shop that we like. Shout out Capital Loans.
We don't need to shout out the pawn shop.
Too bad. I just did.
But we bought the tracker. We've each fucked around with it a little bit, enough to like start to understand the UI. And it is not intuitive.
Make shit with it. It's not intuitive, but once you get the hang of it, it's not like a bad UI. Like I kind of like using it now that I've spent a day playing with it.
I think I will like using it once I get more used to being able to go back in and make edits.
Sure, but it's going to be tricky to make music if I don't listen to more of that music. So I got to listen to more music, and I'm trying to get more accustomed to electronic music. It's a lot of what I've been listening to lately, but we just didn't get it done in time.
Oh, I should show you
Timeland.
Burial.
Sure. I mean, it's a great brewery.
Burial is a dubstep artist that doesn't sound like brostep, but it's more like high-class, restrained dubstep.
Okay. Sure, I'll listen to whatever. I'm trying to do my homework. We just didn't get our homework done enough to be able to talk about Made in Timeland in an interesting way, I think. So
we should also talk about Botanica, and that's going to come back later in the episode.
Okay. That means nothing to me right now.
We'll get there.
Okay. So we're going to do our best with Made in Timeland.
Yeah.
We are really going to do our best. But then we're going to talk about Hat Jam LP. We were just going to talk about Satanic Slumber Party, which is the Tropical Fuckstorm King Gizzard collaborative EP. But turns out you can't really talk about Satanic Slumber Party without also talking about the Dripping Tap.
Since they came out of the same sessions.
They came out of the same sessions. They came out together on a limited edition vinyl. And so we also listened to the Dripping Tap. We actually listened to the Dripping Tap before Satanic Slumber Party because we knew that.
Yes.
So we're going to be a little bit spoiled going into Omnium Gatherum for our next episode.
I'm okay with that. If it means I can cut 20 minutes off the runtime of Omnium some of the time that I listen to it, I'm not going to be upset.
Because we've already heard Dripping Tap. And
yeah, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at least to some degree next week to talk about how it fits with the record, but
we're also going to talk about it today.
Yeah, we're gonna get the meat of it today.
So I guess we are starting with
Timeland. It's Cavs, it's Cook, it's Stu, it's Joey, and it opens with thunder.
Sure does. Not just thunder.
And lightning?
I was going to say snapping.
Oh, like a clock ticking almost.
Yeah. Once a second. You think you got that at 60 BPM snapping? Do you think that you were
almost certainly not? It'd be more like.
Yeah, I think you had been a little fast.
Yeah, no, I was wrong. I was off. And if you're listening to this at 2x speed,
well, that's okay because there's a section later on where the snaps are every other second. So if you're listening to this episode at 2x speed, then it'll be perfect for that section.
No, it won't.
Because we didn't do it at
part where it goes half speed, not double speed.
Right. Well, so if we're doing it at half speed.
I thought that was normal speed.
Then at 2x, it'll be like
we
regular.
can't get sucked into this conversation. We can't do this. We have to resist.
All right. So Timeland's a weird album.
We keep getting feedback from our critics, our harshest critics, our fans who keep saying, make the long episodes, but we can't listen to that. That is the devil on our shoulder.
No, you're just saying that because you don't want to edit.
I don't want to edit another 2-hour, 45-minute episode. Please, God, don't make me edit another 2-hour, 45-minute episode.
So Made in Timeland's a weird album, largely because of what it's trying to do.
Which is, it's trying to be intermission music and also a countdown clock.
Yeah, so like you know Brian Eno.
I've
right?
heard of Brian Eno. Yeah, he did that one album, Music for Airports.
Exactly. So the idea behind
Is that electronic music?
Yeah, it's ambient.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ambient. So the idea behind ambient music, at least Brian Eno's, Music for Airports, is trying to make music that is on in the background and is like just noticeable enough, but not really. Like you don't really pay attention to it, but also it's there.
But also, if you want to pay attention to it and dive in, there is some meat on the bone so that you can. But as a general listen, that's not really what it's intended for.
Yeah, it's what he said is it's intended to induce calm and a space to think, as ignorable as it is interesting. And
I think that's the critical part there, as ignorable as it is interesting.
Yeah, and so this, Music for Airports, Ambient 1, Music for Airports is the name of the record, released in 1979, is not even Brian Eno's first ambient record. It's just like
his most famous.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of what Giz was trying to do, is they were planning these big 3-hour marathon sets, which now have become, at least to some degree, staples for them.
Yeah, it's certainly become one of their signatures.
But they were starting that out for the first time. At least they were planning to. And they were going to do these big shows like New Year's. And for the intermissions, they wanted some music to keep people like entertained while they were getting another beer or, checking out the merch.
And while you certainly can use like
a rest.
Yeah, you certainly can use a generic playlist for that.
Right, you can play some house music, not in the not in the sense of
the genre,
but like over the house PAs, you're going to have to play something, and that's what they wanted to do, but make it all Giz.
Which I really appreciate. I love it when an artist says, here's this thing that we don't have to do, but we're going to do it anyway because it creates a more holistic experience.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. And so they made that. And then Jason Galea went and made videos that have this ticking clock
kind
countdown.
Of persistent through it.
Right. So it counts down from 15 minutes exactly to be an intermission. And so the band wrote these songs with a persistent pulse.
Yes.
That you hear throughout, which starts on Timeland with a snapping, but it goes through other instruments. It fades in and out every now and then.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's there. And so every second you hear this pulse, whether or not the actual song itself matches that meter.
Right, they do get a little polymetric with it.
They start out very polymetric with it. But at times it's in the meter, at times it's off of the meter, and we're just getting that ticking clock, that countdown. And so the theme of this album, if anything, what they're trying to do is this intermission music. It's this countdown. And so it's not music that they're designing really for you to sit down and listen to as an album.
Sure.
It's expected to be something that can be on as intermission music, something that you can tune into and tune out of as you notice things.
Yeah.
And but of course, we had to listen to it as an album.
We did. And I think that is kind of inherently the flaw with the show, is that we do have to take this thing out of its original context, just like we had to do with Chunky Shrapnel, where like Ambergris doesn't, what was the name of that song? Not Ambergris.
Anamnesis?
Anamnesis doesn't really hold up on its own. It's fine for its context, although you didn't think that was true either.
Neither did you. You also thought it disrupted the flow of the album.
It did disrupt the flow of the album.
We both agreed on that.
You're right.
I don't know why you're accusing me.
Yeah, I just like accusing you of things.
And yeah, so I did try my best at times during these last 2 weeks while we were listening to Made in Timeland to listen to it in the context of like an intermission of hold music, or of just like, I've got half an hour between this and my next thing.
Yeah.
Let me throw on Made in Timeland, or let me throw on one of the tracks of Made in Timeland.
Sure.
And I gotta say, like, as background music, it works much better than I think it does as an album. I guess we never did this. Thumbs up or thumbs down on Made in Timeland?
On Made in Timeland, like the whole EP.
Yeah, specifically Made in Timeland.
Is this considered an EP or an LP?
LP.
This is an LP.
LP.
The whole LP, I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Fascinating.
Not even a thumbs middle, thumbs up.
Fascinating. For me, it's my first thumbs down since Anglesey.
Okay. Wow.
I didn't like Made in Timeland as an album to sit down and listen to.
But it's not intended to be sat down and listened to.
Right.
What did you think about it as intermission music?
Thumbs middle.
Okay. I think that's a more honest representation.
I think it's a more honest representation of what they're trying to do, but as an album, as something to sit down and listen to, if we're considering it as one of the entries in their discography, thumbs down.
Just say that you hate the Shrimpermaniac.
We'll get there. So it was made as a series of vignettes.
Yeah.
According to Stu in a Reddit AMA, Timeland was all about vignettes. Each vignette was mostly recorded by one individual member, then brought to the band for overdubs and additional ideas. I had the task of splicing them together into a cohesive piece. Was a fun way to make music.
I want a timeline drawn out of who contributed what. Because I think that would make the whole thing more interesting.
I think it would be very interesting as an artifact. I think that my big problem with Timeland is that if Stu's trying to tie them together, splice them together into a cohesive piece, I don't think he succeeded.
Oh, I definitely think he succeeded.
I don't think there's a cohesive piece in either of these tracks.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do. I think they both work as cohesive pieces.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to disagree there.
I don't think they work with each other.
I think they work with each other better than either of them works alone.
Interesting. Wow, we really disagreed on this one.
We really disagreed on this one.
I don't like that. I'm so conflict averse, guys. I am so conflict averse. I don't like disagreeing with anyone on anything for any reason. So this is going to be a really hard episode for me, and I need you to have some patience and stay with me.
So this album was cursed.
Yes, because when did this album come out? Or rather,
when was it supposed to come out?
Sure, let's say that.
I'm not even sure it was supposed to be released as an album initially. It was supposed to be first shown, first heard,
debuted.
Yeah, there's a good word, as intermission music for shows in 2020.
And that explains everything.
So those were canceled. They were replaced by other shows that were supposed to happen, but those shows kept getting canceled too. Throughout 2020 and 2021, the shows that this was supposed to be performed at or played at were not. I mean, the shows didn't happen.
Right.
So it became a cursed album. Fans knew that it was supposed to exist. That
yeah, fans knew going way back that it was supposed to exist because it was like somebody looked up in a songwriter database or something and saw that it had been registered.
Right. And the marathon shows that they were supposed to be playing called the Timeland Festival initially.
Right.
They just never happened. And so it became sort of a meme apparently within the fan base at the time, which we of course were not a part of.
No.
But some of you probably were. And people were anxiously awaiting Timeland. Maybe Timeland. Eventually...
I can't imagine how it must have felt to get super hyped up for this record and then you get this.
Yeah, right? So March 2022, they finally have a show that's called Return of the Curse of Timeland, just leaning into the bit.
Sure.
A live show in Melbourne, and they play some of this music as the intermission, and they release a small number of vinyl copies of the album.
And that's just made in Timeland, right?
Just made in Timeland, with copies appearing only at a couple of small independent record stores around the world. But it's not released online yet. It's not released digitally until October, alongside Laminated Denim.
So wait, so how long was that it wasn't released? Or that it was only vinyl?
About 7 months.
That's a huge fucking chunk of time. I mean, immediately that's going to end up on all the torrent sites, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure that plenty of people were ripping their vinyls, but I would imagine most fans did not hear this until October, right before Laminated Denim came out.
Right. Only the most rabid fans were going out and making sure that they heard it.
Right. And unless you were able to go to one of these shows, and they did play these as intermission music, and only as intermission music, not live at all, a few times throughout 2022 with the countdown clocks.
The videos, yeah.
Right, with the videos, the countdown clocks.
Which we should note, each one of these songs comes with its own music video that is an actual countdown clock.
Yeah, we said that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. I'm so bad at podcasting.
Through late 2022, with Timeland through November 2022, and Smoke and Mirrors through October 2022. So there were a few months where if you saw Giz, that's how you would have experienced this music, and no other way. But since October, November 2022, the vast majority of the way that anybody is going to have heard this music is just on the album, as an album.
Sure.
Because they don't do this as intermission music anymore.
They don't?
It doesn't appear that way, at least not with the videos, not based on KGLW.net.
I would have assumed that they were still using some of these as 15-minute countdowns.
If they do, they're not using it with the video, or KGLW.net is wrong. I haven't been to a Giz show yet.
I guess we'll find out at Field of Vision.
I guess, but I feel pretty confident that we can trust this one.
Sure, yeah.
So, all right, now I think I'm finally ready. Let's actually dive into Timeland.
Sure. It opens with the thunder, and then a clock starts ticking. And the ticking, like we said earlier, it comes in various different forms. Right here, it sounds like a clock ticking at the very, very beginning.
See, it sounds like snapping to me.
There's snapping layered in with it, yeah. But it sounds more like a clock ticking here than it does throughout most of the song.
I don't think it ever sounds much like a clock.
How?
It sounds like snapping.
It sounds like a fucking clock ticking.
It sounds like snapping. It's exactly a snap. I don't know what kind of snapping you're hearing that doesn't sound like that, or what kind of clock you're hearing that sounds like a snap. It's a snap.
I'm not going to get into this right now. I am calm. I am collected. There are some dark synth chords underneath the ticking as a vocalization sting comes in and layers into the chords. Yeah.
Yeah. And it starts out very polymetric or polyrhythmic. We're not in the same time as the 60 BPM or 120 BPM. We are completely off from the snapping.
Because the great thing about subverting expectations is that you have to subvert right away before expectations are set.
That's how expectations work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just sort of flow through various vignettes throughout the song.
Yeah.
Most of which do not work well with each other.
I would disagree. But I don't really know how to talk about the song.
Yeah, we really don't know what to do here. So Timeland, of the two songs, I think has more shorter vignettes, and Smoke and Mirrors has fewer longer ones.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you would agree with that.
Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have like 8 distinct sections in Timeland that I wrote down about.
And how many in Smoke and Mirrors?
In Smoke and Mirrors, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. So I think that what I did, what Noel probably did as well, is we took our notes with timestamps based on the countdown videos.
Yes.
So my timestamps count down from 15 minutes.
Right.
So like just before the 13-minute mark. So after like 2 minutes of this opening.
Yeah.
We get it like a 4 on the floor, 808 sort of kick drum beat.
Yeah, and then bass synth coming in slightly afterwards. It's really
right, like
cool.
a 303 sort of bass.
Yeah.
And so I think what we're getting with a 303 bass, I think that makes it acid house. I think that the 303 is the defining feature of what makes it acid instead of...
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Based on my reading. Again, this is not music I'm familiar with, but my understanding of the term is that acid house is house music with a 303.
Okay.
And that acid techno is techno that, like acid house, uses the 303, but like acid house was a thing before acid techno.
Okay.
That's my understanding. That acid house came out of the original Chicago house scene because all house music came out of Chicago.
Sure.
But yeah, this 303 bass makes it acid.
Okay, cool.
So acid, not necessarily referring to like psychedelic music, which is what I thought before I started doing this research.
I always thought that acid was based on a specific like lead tone because like I hear that really distorted like lead synth that is often in acid music, and I just associate that with acid.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's the bass.
Okay.
I think it's actually the synth bass that gives it that name.
Wild.
And so then we get that for another like 2 minutes.
Ish, yeah.
Like 2 minutes and 17 seconds until all of a sudden
At 11:40.
At 11:43.
At 11:43.
We get the only lyric in the song.
And I think there's some debate as to what this lyric actually says.
There's no way there's debate. It's so obvious.
So everyone online, or every source I've looked at online, says it's a producer tag for one of the producers that was used on this track.
What? It clearly says Timeland.
That's what I hear too.
What else could it possibly be?
Either that or there's somewhere else in this song with a producer tag that I'm not hearing that everybody's referencing.
It's Timeland.
That's what I think I'm hearing.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
That's the only thing I could possibly imagine that being. If it's something else, I apologize to whatever producer whose name sounds like the word Timeland.
Yeah, except his name doesn't sound at all like Timeland. I didn't write it down, but it doesn't sound anything like Timeland.
Why wouldn't you write that down?
I don't fucking
You're bad
know.
at podcasting.
I'm bad at podcasting.
So, yeah, so that takes me by surprise every time I listen to this.
Timeland.
Yeah, it takes me by surprise every single time.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. And then flutes come in.
Yeah, so we continue with this acid house for another like 30 seconds after that, and then we get what sounded to me like a pan flute. It's not a pan flute.
I think it's the mellotron.
It's not.
It's not the mellotron?
No, it's an ocarina. It's the ocarina.
Okay.
I thought it was a pan flute. It's Stu playing an ocarina. It feels to me like it's multiple ocarina parts layered on top of each other.
Very likely.
Because it also sounds out of tune. It seems like the different tracks of the ocarina are not in tune with each other, and they don't cut in or out necessarily at the exact same moment. They're pretty much all on time, but they're all like non-quantized. Like one of them is going to be a tiny bit early, one of them is going to be a tiny bit late, and so it creates that off-kilter feel. But I hate this section.
I love this section.
Because it's out of tune.
I don't care.
But it just,
I never noticed.
I notice it every single time. From the very first time I listened to the most recent time I listened, it is out of tune.
Okay. I never noticed that.
It is out of tune with the other ocarina tracks, and it sounds so bad.
I never noticed that.
It's loud, it's high-pitched, it's out of tune, and it's ever so slightly off time, and it can be any of those things if it were good.
Sure.
And it's nice to have a melody, I guess. A little bit. It's not really a melody. It doesn't come back.
Who needs a melody?
I mean,
this is EDM. You don't need a melody.
Maybe that's why I struggle with EDM.
Maybe.
Smoke and Mirrors has a lot more melody.
Sure.
Than Timeland does.
Sure.
But like, it's definitely a melody here. I mean, you've got a melodic instrument with the ocarina. I don't know what you're doing with it if it's not playing a melody.
Creating texture.
But it's loud and sharp and
so
brash.
Maybe that's what they wanted.
And it's melodic. It is melodic.
It is melodic, yeah, inherently.
But it's out of tune, and it's
never noticed that.
Well, I'm sorry for when you notice it next time.
I guess. When we get to the 10-minute mark, the ticking comes back really loudly and prominently,
Yeah,
which
it's
I
like
imagine was intentional to mark the 10 minutes.
I think probably it's now like a wood block, and it's every other second instead of every second.
It's 30 BPM now, yeah.
Yeah. So we get our strong bass coming back, and we're back to Acid House.
Yeah, like
so
the
we just
921 mark.
Right. So we sort of have a break from the Acid House with the ocarina and, this sharp wood block.
And at this point, there's
we're back.
There are some synth overdubs over it that around 8 minutes kind of turn into like synth strings that are like occasionally stung.
Yeah, and I think there's a melody here that sounds kind of inspired by Indian music.
Sure.
As well, that comes back a couple of times. We also later on are going to get a rhythmic section in Smoke and Mirrors that's played on tabla drums.
Sure.
Which is an Indian drum. And so it does seem like there are at least some of these references or some of these styles of music that they keep coming back to. In addition to house music, they're also playing a little bit with Indian classical music, as we've seen them do from time to time before, including going all the way back to Float Along, Fill Your Lungs when they had the sitar for the first time. But like this is a fairly long section here in Timeland, at least relative
2 minutes.
For Timeland itself, unlike Smoke and Mirrors, which has a few more of these longer sections.
Yeah. And then we get to my favorite part of this album.
At 7 minutes or just after 7 minutes, we get some harpsichord.
Yeah, right around like 6:55, the harpsichord comes in, and then it just goes full Baroque.
Yeah, we get a lot of like harpsichord stabs, chord stabs.
There's like a bowed violinish part.
With normal flutes.
Yeah.
Rather than like a pan flute or an ocarina. And
that goes for a full minute.
Yeah.
Which makes me so happy. That's my favorite part of the whole album, and I wish it was more than a minute. I would love to hear them do more Baroque pop.
Yeah, I would love to see them do that more of that. Excuse me. I agree that it's one of my favorite parts of the album. But like, okay, you think that this all fits together as a track? Mm-hmm. How does this fit in with anything else that they've done?
It's just a break.
Okay, but you understand.
It's just a bridge.
But it's so different from everything else.
That's how bridges work.
You can't say it exists completely separate from everything else, and so it's tied well together. It has nothing to do with anything else. There is nothing in common. Yes,
there is. It's still going at the same tempo. It's still got that like driving beat behind it that's pulling it along.
It has the same tempo underneath it with the clock, but that doesn't make it itself the same tempo. And like everything is sitting on top of this clock, but that doesn't. The clock alone existing doesn't make everything tie together. Otherwise, you could put literally anything on top of it and say that it all ties together. And that's kind of what they do, and so it doesn't tie together.
I think it works.
I mean, it might work for you, but that doesn't mean it ties together.
I'm not as good at articulating why things work as I am at articulating why they don't work, and that's really not playing in my favor right now.
No, it's not, because it doesn't work.
It does work.
Like, what about it connects?
I don't know. I'd have to listen to it again with that specific thought in mind.
Oh, that wasn't what you were thinking about like 80% of the time you were listening?
I never thought about it once because it all just works together for me.
Did you like it the first time you listened?
Yes.
How?
It's good. Actually.
It's not. It's nonsense.
It's not.
It's collections of several different nonsense things, but they don't have anything to do with one another.
Sure they do. It's the same 6 people making them.
So what? And that doesn't mean that Petrodragonic is going to sound anything like fucking Anglesey.
No, but that's not the point I'm trying to make.
But it is the thing you said.
It's not the point I'm trying to make.
All right, so make your point.
The point I'm trying to make is that the 6 of them got together and they all created these little vignettes, and they were put together with intention.
Okay, but
as one piece. Like,
okay,
the intention is what makes it cohere.
Okay, but I don't think that they succeeded. A lot of people intend to make art, and that art doesn't necessarily go well. I don't think that this art went well. I understand that there was intention behind it, but I don't think that inherently makes it good.
I do. No, it doesn't inherently make it good.
Okay.
But I do think it's good.
Okay, why? I would love to know. I don't like not liking things.
I don't know. I'd have to go back to the song and listen to it in real time to be able to tell you.
Okay. I do like this section, but it's just... And, like, I think a lot of the individual vignettes...
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, like, mathcore or dubstep or one of those big genres where, like, it's super huge and ear-crushing the entire time, except for it cuts down in the middle and it has that one small section that's just, like, the sample of the 50s radio program.
Okay.
And then it goes back into the heavy stuff, and it's so much better in the heavy stuff because it did the sample where it breaks out for a second.
Okay, so I can understand that, but generally there is something tying what happened before and what happened after.
No. There really doesn't have to be.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think it's too many ideas. It's too many different things. If it was ABA, I could get that. But this is A, B, C, D, E, F, A, Q, 3.
I don't think that's fair.
Okay, a lot of it is acid house. Okay, so A, B, C, A, D, A, F, A, 3, A.
I still don't think that's fair. I think you're being very unfair to this song.
I don't think it's a song.
And that's where we differ. Because I hear... Okay, here's the thing. I have had to put up with people saying that the music that I like isn't real music because it doesn't match their definition of music.
I'm not saying it's not music.
My entire life.
I'm not saying it's not music.
You just said it's not a song.
There's a difference. Not all music necessarily is song.
Sure. Fuck off. Fuck all the way off. I hate you so much.
You don't.
I don't, and I couldn't.
I'm not saying that this isn't music. I just think it's bad music.
Okay, what do you have around 525?
All right, let me get back there. All right, we get some very difficult to understand, like, chant-like vocals from Ambi that sounds like gang vocals from another room. Impossible to understand, impossible to make out.
Yep.
Clearly, you're not intended to.
Yep. Just vocal layering for texture.
Sure.
Which is very common in EDM.
Yeah, it's fine. None of the individual vignettes are necessarily a problem.
Okay.
I would have liked just some more connection. That's all I'm saying. Is
but
give me some reason to think
we go back to the general bass pattern that was used earlier in the track.
Yeah, we go back to acid house. I granted that it goes back to the acid house a bunch of times. I don't think that's enough. Okay. I don't think that every now and then going back and doing the same thing means that the other things in between make any sense there.
Okay. Let's keep moving.
All right. You get a complicated clap or stomp rhythm, or clap or slap rhythm that's kind of like a child's game. It reminded me of like people playing, not patty cake, but like more grown-up versions of that. Like still like 12-year-olds on a school playground, like with a complicated game that has a lot of, rhyming verses to it.
Sure, yeah. Where is that?
Like 5:10.
5:10.
I don't know that it's like its own section of the song. It's quiet.
At that point, the main thing that I was noting was the wood blocks.
Oh, see, it's very quiet, but to me, it's so... Again, it's just one thing that's different and stands out because it has nothing to do with anything else.
Sure.
And so I have, I think, quite a few more timestamps than you do throughout this song because of all of the random nonsense.
I think you're going to hate Botanica, and I can't wait to show it to you.
Yeah, I'm probably going to hate it. This might just not be for me.
That's fine. That's totally fine. It's going to be frustrating for you, but it is fine.
Sure. I mean, that's okay. We're all allowed to have ones that we don't like. You've had ones that you don't like. You didn't care for KG and LW?
That's not entirely true. I didn't like them as much at the time while I was in them, but looking back on them, I really like them.
You really didn't care for LW.
I didn't care for like Straws in the Wind or the Cruel Millie. Wait, that's not on
the
this
Cruel
one.
Millennial is fishing for fishies.
I know, but I hated that one. I don't know. I mostly liked KG and LW. There were some exceptions, but I mostly liked them.
But I don't know. There was just so much random nonsense. None of it felt like it was there with intention.
I think that might actually be a good critique.
I think so much of it was put together with intention, but the individual vignettes felt like there was no intention, and they were so unrelated to one another that putting them together, ordering them, it didn't feel like they were doing harpsichord because that was the best thing for that moment. It felt like they were doing harpsichord because one of the members of the band came in and said, hey, I made this harpsichord thing. Let's put it in there.
If it hadn't been the right thing, it wouldn't have been included.
I don't think that that's true, because it doesn't seem like it makes the song.
We disagree on this.
Okay. I honestly just wish that you had more of the reasons you could say that you liked it, so this would be a more interesting conversation.
I know. I wish I did too.
I don't want to just like bowl over.
Do we want to pause the podcast for a second while I listen to it again?
No.
Okay.
I don't like slamming a thing.
Sure. A lot of the song is built around 4 on the floor kick, unless there's no kick at all, which is fine. I like those sections as well, but there's a lot of 4 on the floor in this song. And then, let's see, we get to 3 minutes, and we got the loud ticking again, with this time descending chimes followed by an ascending harp.
Yeah, and all of this is at 3:45, we had gotten a faster tempo with bells.
Sure, yeah.
And so we're kind of leaving some of the slower tempo of the house behind. So like it's not all the same tempo. It's not all the same meter, even though we continue to have the clock
Sure.
as the main thing that's a through line.
But I wanted to ask you a question about this next section.
Yeah? Which section?
The 3-minute section.
Sure.
Right after the harp is done,
We haven't talked about the harp yet.
I mentioned it.
Okay, well,
We can go back and talk about it if you'd like.
I'm trying to find where I have it in the notes. Oh, I only have harp listed for Smoke and Mirrors.
Okay.
I don't have it at all for Timeland.
Okay.
Where
Right around the
was
3-minute mark.
Okay, I had like a bells.
Okay.
Maybe that was actually harp.
There's a moment where there is bells, but then the bells descend and then a harp ascends.
Okay. I guess I didn't notice that.
And right after that, there is what sounds like a female voice vocalizing. Do you think that was Ambi?
I have a vocalization at 240.
Yeah, that's about there, yeah.
Yeah. It becomes a little bit more melodic at that point. It doesn't sound noticeable to me in any way other than just it existed.
Oh, okay.
It didn't occur to me to question who it was because it was nothing.
Because you were so bored at this point.
It's not that I was bored. I was listening to everything. I was writing everything down, but also it wasn't interesting. There was nothing to write about.
Okay.
There was so much to write and nothing to
Say?
Sure.
Anyway, the song basically ends with a huge, like, acid house section, right?
So, it cut it down and slowed down and become more melodic. So I think that the tempo changes at around the 3 minutes are the only interesting thing at the 3 minutes, and you skipped over that entirely.
I just didn't notice the tempo changes.
It's the only interesting thing happening.
I disagree. It's the least interesting thing that's happening.
It's the only thing that's happening. What else is happening?
They're changing instrumentation. They're playing with like layering stuff. There's a lot of like play with textures as they like build up a soundscape.
And they're doing that with the changing tempo.
Sure. I just didn't notice the tempo is like part of that. I probably should have.
It really ramps up with about 55 seconds left. The clock has turned into my favorite clock throughout the song.
Yeah.
Which is like chains slamming.
Sure. And the visualizations at this point are like in the video, the visualizations have just gone off the wall here at the end.
Yeah. At about a minute 38, we end up with that really fast. I wouldn't call that acid house. I would say that's techno.
Oh, okay. I just noticed the kick was pulsing on the 8th.
Yeah, the kick is going real fast. We get a much, much higher tempo techno section.
Okay.
With about a minute and a half left that really ramps up at about a minute left. And then we've got that chain as our clock. And with 9 seconds left, it's just claps.
Yeah.
Just claps.
It is great. It pulls down to nothing to end, which I kind of appreciate. With a countdown clock, especially because presumably at this point the band is already getting on stage.
Right, and I like the way that I really do think that this would work great as intermission music.
Yeah,
I think that with that in mind, it's a it's a great way to use these vignettes. I think that
and I think
what
that,
it was made for, it does a good job.
That's the stick you have to measure with.
Right. But also, it's not a song. It's not. It doesn't. The fact that it goes through these different vignettes without anything tying them together is what makes it work as this intermission instrumental, as this intermission like listening. But that doesn't mean that it works as a song to listen to. It doesn't mean that it works as a cohesive unit, because it's not a unit. It's 12 different things, all one after another, and that's it.
If there's one thing I've learned about this album from reading about it online, it's that about half of our listeners will in fact agree with you.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people seem to not like this one, and I do think if you treat it as the way that it was designed to be listened to initially and not as an album, it works, but not because it's cohesive.
Stu himself said it was cohesive, so.
In large part, it works for that because it's not cohesive. It works like that because it changes up so much without any particular through line that every now and then you notice it and go, oh, hey, that's interesting. And then you stop paying attention to it again 30 seconds later. That's why it works. As intermission music. It works because there is nothing about the ocarina section that has anything to do with anything else. It works because there is nothing about the chanting section that has anything to do with anything else. The only thing that's a through line whatsoever is Acid House and the ticking clock. That's it.
Well, maybe you'll feel differently about Smoke and Mirrors.
And if you love Timeland like Noel does, I'm sorry for dissing your favorite track.
It's fine. You're fine.
It is a cromulent piece of work.
I would say north of cromulent, but
I would say cromulent.
Okay.
I would say it is sufficient for what it is intended to be and nothing more.
All right. So we get Smoke and Mirrors next. It's Cavs. It's Luke. It's Stu. It's Ambi. It's Joey. Where the fuck is Cookie?
Well, he's on Timeland, but Ambi and Lukey are not credited on Timeland.
Ambi is. Or not as a writer, I guess.
Not as a writer.
Not as a writer. Just vocals.
Yep. So again, we have our 60 BPM clock. This time it starts with something that I think sounds a lot like what Cavs did on Sojourn.
I've only listened to Sojourn once. You're gonna have to say a little bit more.
Just like percussion that's reminiscent of like rainforest vibes.
Sure, but it opens with a gong.
Yeah.
And I think that has to be called out because gongs are cool.
Gongs are cool.
And really, I know that Cavs now travels with a gong. I want to know how many times he hits that thing in like an average 3-hour set. Like how many times is he getting up and hitting that gong that it makes financial sense for them to have a gong on stage?
Well, at Field of Vision, we're going to get Cavs Gong Bath.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to what that's going to be like.
Unlike Timeland, this one starts out in the same time as the clock.
Which you must have loved.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that was never a criticism. That was not my criticism. No, what I loved was it sounds like we actually had a melody on this one.
Yeah.
What I loved was that
the lead of Mellotron does come in around like 14, 15-ish.
What I loved was that there were like actually a number of elements in this one where it sounded like they were returning to some of the same thematic material every now and then, so that like there was more of a through line.
I didn't notice any more through line in this than I did in the other one, except for the fact that Shrimpomaniac comes in twice.
I wouldn't say there's a ton. I wouldn't say I like it that much better than Timeland.
Sure.
It felt nice to have guitars again, but there are no guitars.
Yeah.
But there are guitars, just not guitars.
Tell me more about what you mean by that.
There are a couple of times throughout Smoke and Mirrors where it sounds like there are guitars. Early on, electric guitars. Towards the end, acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
At no point are guitars ever credited on the album, so I have to assume that these are synth or Mellotron guitars.
I assume there's synths being played on a keyboard, yeah.
Right. But it's nice to have some of that guitar tone. maybe it's just because electronic music isn't something that I'm familiar with. Maybe it's because I just don't particularly like Timeland. It was nice for me to have the return to a guitar sound, something that,
Sure.
again, appeared a couple of times throughout the song, playing some sort of melodic material that I could feel like was a connection.
I'm going to say something that's going to get your goat.
Probably. You have several times already.
When Smoke and Mirrors ends on my playlist and the dripping tap begins, I usually don't notice.
That's because you're really dumb.
They feel like they're constructed by the same people.
Oh,
And like you can tell that there's like creative through line.
I don't agree. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't think that there's anything about like the way that it's put together that could be, but like there's such a strong difference between the two tracks.
But it just
Like,
it just makes sense to have the dripping tap follow Smoke and Mirrors.
Disagree.
It completely makes sense, which is why I think it works so well as intermission music.
Oh, see, I completely disagree. I think it's a jarring jump when dripping tap starts.
I knew you were going to disagree with me, and I still brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. You should disagree with me. If you disagree with me, then you should say it.
Oh, okay.
That's what the show is.
That's maybe what the show is, but that's not what our relationship is.
It's true. But no, I don't understand how you listen to music, because
With my ears.
there is such a distinct end to Smoke and Mirrors and beginning to the dripping tap. I could not possibly imagine not noticing that transition. I think you have to be asleep for Smoke and Mirrors for that to make any sense.
I'm definitely not. I really like Smoke and Mirrors.
I don't know that you've listened to Smoke and Mirrors if you don't think that there is a difference in sound moving from one to the next.
I think there's a big difference between the first minute and the second minute of this song.
Oh, I don't agree.
Interesting.
I think that's the best thing about Smoke and Mirrors is those first couple of minutes where it flows. And you can change things. If it flows, you can have a big change and come back. You can do a lot of different things with song structure. But yeah, every 2 minutes, a different vignette that has nothing to do with what came before or what's coming afterwards. It's just not what I like. It's not something that coheres.
Okay, so going off of what you're saying then, I would say that the next section starts at 10:35.
Okay, I'm fair. I'm fine with that. Because even at 12:36, which was my first like, hey, things are switching up timestamp, the drum pattern still continues enough that I wasn't entirely sure whether I should mark that differently.
But like
I would say
at 10:35, you hear the ticking come back a little bit louder, and the drums and percussion are getting louder, and it's clearly building to something.
Yeah, and I would say that the reason I had 12:36 as a timestamp there was because that's when we get what I didn't realize at first was a harp, but is a harp.
Okay, yeah.
This was very unexpected.
There was also
to me.
a harp at 11:19.
Yeah, starting at 12:36, we get the harp.
Sorry. Yep. Time works backwards when we're counting down.
Yep.
I understand how that works.
That was very unexpected to me, the harp, and so that's why I made the cut there.
Oh, okay.
Is that felt very different, but there was something that with the drums that connected it, and it was nice to have some sort of like light and happy vibes that kind of reminded me of Butterfly 3000.
Sure.
With the harp, and then the drums pick up again and ramp up to something, like you said, around 11:45, but they're still under this happy melody. So there's, again, more connection. So, yeah, 10:40, we get very electronic again. It's ramped up. Mm-hmm. That is, I think, the first moment where there's like a hard change.
Break,
a hard change. So we get 5 minutes. It's actually like a song.
Okay. I would agree with that. Yeah. I think it's a song with different movements in it, but yeah, it's a song.
Sure. Then, we get about 30 seconds of like just very electronic music.
And then we get
the Shrimpomaniac himself.
Let's talk about Ambrose for a second.
So we've heard him with the pseudo rap before.
We've heard him with the pseudo rap before. We've certainly seen him as a frontman before.
Oh, he's a great frontman.
We know what he can do with something like Let Me Mend the Past.
Yeah, he's got some great stage presence.
Yeah, and so we're used to seeing Ambi as this slightly larger than life character when he chooses to be the focus. And right here, he is choosing to be the focus and be a larger than life character who gets his own name for some reason.
Yeah, he is credited not as Ambrose Kenny Smith here, but as Shrimpomaniac.
On the liner notes.
And
I love it.
Yeah, so this is actual rap. This isn't pseudo rap anymore. He is straight up rapping.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised by that because we've heard people allude to ambi rap sections before, but most of them have been like, I wouldn't call them rap.
Yeah, they're I guess somewhere in between rap and singing, but still closer to singing.
I think so, but this one is unambiguous.
Yeah. Do you think he's a good rapper?
Let me counter that question with another question. For this context, does it matter?
Yes.
Does it?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I prefer to listen to things that are good and not things that are bad.
I don't know if he's a good rapper or not, but I didn't care because it breaks up the song. It gives it this new vibe and this new feeling. It feels exciting. It feels dangerous. It feels risky.
Is that a cultural association you have with rap in general?
No. This is the association I have with, oh shit, Ambi picked up a mic and we don't know what he's doing next.
Okay, because I didn't feel any sense of danger or threat or like it's a cute Australian boy with a microphone.
But like it's not a safe choice. It's risky in that it's not a safe choice. You can't just do this and know it's going to land.
Oh, because it doesn't land.
I think it does, but
I don't think he's a good rapper.
And they think it lands well enough to have done it 4 times on stage.
I think that it's a little bit fun.
It is a little bit fun.
But I think that that's honestly the best
I think it's
can say
more
for
than
it.
a little bit fun.
I think it's fun. I think he's a cromulent rapper. I know I've said that word before, but that is literally the word I have in my notes. I think he has a basic sense of flow. Like he's not missing his rhythm, but
I think that the line "inferior actions, mysterious, convoluted satisfaction" is fucking rad.
the actual lines, they're fine. They're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good.
It's not a concern to see me squirm like a worm in the beak of an eagle. It's evil. Like the rhyme structure is fun.
There's some good internal rhyme there. I'm not saying the bars themselves not bad. The delivery,
I like the delivery.
Could be better.
I like the delivery.
The delivery is fun. The lyrics are better than the actual delivery.
The delivery feels like you're at a child's birthday party.
Yeah, that's not a positive.
Affectionate.
See, I've never enjoyed being at a child's birthday party.
That's because you're wrong and you don't have the joy of life in your heart.
I do think there's a decent chance that I just might not have enough whimsy for this song.
That could be it. Not enough whimsy. There we go. We figured it out.
It's very possible that I just wasn't listening to this with a whimsical enough ear.
You didn't open up your heart to it.
I tried to. And I just don't think it's good enough. I don't think it was trying to be something to listen to. I think it was trying to be something to notice. And I noticed it. I think it did what it was trying to do. I don't think it was trying to be music to put on. But unfortunately for this podcast, I had to listen to it. I had to do the deep listening, and it's just not there for deep listening. I tried to give it the best possible circumstances. I tried to listen to it as intermission music, and it worked so much better when I tried to do that, but I needed to take notes.
You did need to take notes, and taking notes is probably the least intended way to listen to this album possible.
Yeah, honestly, it's just, I think that
Do you think Fantano did this one?
I don't care. I don't want to talk about Fantano. I don't want to talk about Fantano.
In general, do you think critics said anything about this one?
I'm pretty sure Pitchfork has a review.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to know what critics said now. Critical reception. A silly release that does little to add to the body of work that the band has worked so hard to develop. And probably not going to bring in new listeners to the band or even impress listeners of EDM, house, trance, or other experimental genres.
Yeah, so I guess, first of all...
That's just reading off Wikipedia.
First of all, which critics were saying that?
The first one was a quote from Mike Bringman of Still Listening. And the second one was also Mike Bringman from Still Listening.
Okay. So I guess part of it is, I don't know, do people that listen to EDM, do people that listen to house and techno think that this is good house and techno? I would love to know. I would legitimately and honestly love to know.
Yeah, if you're like an EDM person and you have strong opinions about Timeland or Smoke and Mirrors, get in our DMs because I want to know what you think about this record.
Legitimately. I want to be wrong.
I want to know what it's like with context.
I want to be wrong. I want to know that, hey, this is actually good. They're doing something interesting. I might just not have the context. So yeah, we get about 40 seconds of ambi rapping. It is the shortest section of the song.
It's a really great, quick verse. I think it's about climate change.
It's not. It's about like people who pull up the ladder behind them and like act like they've been born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but never actually help the lower people.
So that would be the lyric, like you're above us and not among us.
Yeah.
Everything comes back around the 9-minute mark.
Yeah. So yeah, really short section for rap. We get back into acid house, but there's some degree of slow melody here as well. And then at 8:10, we get a tabla drum section.
Yeah, I wrote that down as good beat.
Yeah, with a nice drum beat. It's one of my preferred parts of the album. This drum break. There's an electronic sort of whine.
Sure.
Over a lot of it to keep something in the...
There's also like a synth line that's being, I think, filter swept as it goes along.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff here. The drums are probably the most interesting part. I think they're much more listenable than the rap.
Yeah, sure.
And then at 6:30, there's a sharp whistle.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. It's the only time we hear a whistle in the entire album.
Yeah.
It's just one, like a coach's referee whistle.
Yeah. And I think I've heard that in some other EDM before.
Oh, yeah, you hear it in EDM all the time. It's just, normally there's more than one in an entire track.
Yeah, and we get more EDM. Doesn't change vibes too much. You know, we get the longer sections here.
Yeah.
The rap definitely is like the big break.
There's another gong at 5:15, which makes me happy. I love the gongs. I will always call out the gongs.
Yeah, and a few seconds later, we get the return of the harp section,
yeah,
calling back to our B section from earlier. There is a lot more connection in Smoke and Mirrors than there was in Timeland, making Smoke and Mirrors better than Timeland.
And then the full rhythm is back by 3:45.
Yeah, we get more of that acid techno. It's very much like the end of Timeland, that last minute of Timeland.
Yeah.
So we get, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as Timeland, but I think it might actually be.
It is.
The exact same as Timeland. So, hey, like I was saying, I think that they work better as a connection between the two tracks than within each track. Partially because of that direct reference to the end of Timeland within Smoke and Mirrors, and also just the acid house sections that bring together both of the tracks into one sort of connected thing.
Yeah. And then at 2:45, we move to a section that's like mellotron chords, something that sounds like an acoustic guitar, and a harp.
Yeah, it's this...
Which, to me, harkens back to the previous track's Baroque pop section.
See, I don't agree with that because it doesn't sound anything like the harpsichord-y section, which is the main thing about that Baroque pop section, is that those harpsichord stabs, which are entirely absent here.
They are.
For the thing that I notice here is the harp and the acoustic guitar sounding mellotron, which are extremely different from what I heard in the harpsichord section of Timeland.
Sure.
So to me, this sounds like it connects back more to the start of Smoke and Mirrors, where we had another guitar mellotron, and we have, again, the harp back. So there are some connections, but I didn't see the connection there with Timeland. Maybe if I listened to those two sections, I would see more of a connection, but I think that that's personally a bit of a stretch. And then with a minute 20 remaining, we have the return of the Shrimpomaniac.
Yeah, we do.
We don't start right away with Ambi's rapping. We start with the underscoring to the rap section, but it's still very clearly that rap section from before being played again. The rap itself starts with 49 seconds left.
And I think this is a weaker rap than the first rap. Yeah, a weaker verse.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Because of the performance or because of the lyric?
The lyric.
Okay, tell me why.
The lyrics aren't as complex. They aren't as clever.
They're not. They, I think, are a reasonable second verse that matches with the first verse in terms of, like, theme.
Yeah.
Still about the same thing, and just now that we're getting our sort of, like, call and response chorus
I like the
ending.
call and response section at the end.
Yeah.
I like the call and response where it's just another puppet 2-year strings, another sucking with broken wing, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. So I like that. I think that's probably the strongest actual performance of the rapping.
Yeah, I think having that bouncing back and forth is really fun. I bet that plays like a goddamn miracle live.
I think it's probably a better rap live than it is on the track.
Yeah. And in the video at this point, because the videos aren't that interesting overall, but in the video at this point, we do get Ambi breakdancing.
And this Ambi breakdancing is directly pulled from the music video for Straws in the Wind.
Yes, it is. And I had to look that up at the last second because I didn't know that Yael would have that in her notes.
There's some interesting things in these videos. In the video for Timeland, like, I was kind of expecting it to just be a visualizer.
Yeah.
And there are some cool visuals. There's some cool backgrounds. We get some moments that are like volcanoes erupting. We get some moments that are like, well, a lot of clocks. Naturally, they're going to be a lot of clocks. There's some birds. There's a handful of things in the videos that are kind of like fun references to some of the other Giz songs. So there's like Psy Boogie and the Butterfly 3000 video Butterflies in the Smoke and Mirrors video.
Yeah.
They're fun little Easter eggs for fans.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I think that's all that they're needed to be because, like, if you're live at a show, you're going to be hanging out with your friends, talking with everybody who's around you, and all of a sudden someone's going to notice the thing on the screen and go, hey, that's Psy Boogie.
Yeah,
and everybody's going to go, oh, that's cool. Let's talk again.
Yeah, that's what this album needs to be. This album needs to be talked over.
Sure.
If you're talking over Made in Timeland, it's great. If you have it on when you have friends over and it's not what you're focused on, it's a great album. It's not a great album to put on and listen to.
Okay.
But
yeah,
absolutely.
I largely agree with you. Like, I'm not going to be putting this on and listening to it the most, but if it comes on shuffle, I'm not skipping it.
For me, it depends on the situation.
Sure.
I might skip it. I might let it play if it's something that I'm not focusing on music in that moment. If I'm focusing in on the music, I'm probably skipping it.
Okay.
All right. That's Made in Timeland.
That's Made in Timeland, which means we get to move into
Hat Jam
the
LP.
good stuff. This is what we all really came here for today. We came here to hear Giz pick up some fucking guitars.
Yeah, so let's talk about the story behind Hat Jam LP.
Yeah, because the Hat Jam LP isn't necessarily one that I would even expect every Giz fan to know exists.
Yeah, because it's not going to be listed on their discography as one of their albums. You cannot go on Apple Music and just search for Hat Jam LP.
Right.
But it does exist.
As an LP.
As a physical record, there are 1,000 copies out there. 500 of them were sold by Tropical Fuckstorm and 500 by King Gizzard. All of this grew out of a jam that the members of both bands played together in 2019
as part of the sessions
for Fishing for Fishies.
Yes.
Fishing for Fishies was recorded at a house owned by Gareth Lydiard and Fiona Kitchen of the band Tropical Fuckstorm.
Okay.
And so, they were hanging out and drinking after they recorded Fishing for Fishies.
Yeah.
And started jamming. And at the end of How to Gut a Fishy, the video about the making of Fishing for Fishies as they often put out for their albums, where just some behind the scenes footage, you get a couple of minutes of
the Hat Jam.
The Hat Jam. It's just a jam where they're all playing music
and
wearing
they're all
hats.
wearing hats.
Yeah. And people liked that jam and wanted it released.
Yeah.
They thought it was cool music, and it is.
Yeah, we've seen this a lot from Giz, that stuff kind of comes out of jams for them.
Yeah. And so for a few years, it was like, new music when? Like, release the Hat Jam when?
Yeah.
And Tropical Fuckstorm and King Gizzard both took the musical ideas from the Hat Jam
and developed them
independently.
Yes.
So Tropical Fuckstorm developed that jam into an EP
titled Satanic Slumber Party.
And King Gizzard developed that same material into the track The Dripping Tap,
which I'm sure none of you have ever heard of.
It is the first track on Omnium Gatherum.
And one of their most popular tracks live?
It does appear that everybody loves The Dripping Tap, and you know what? I can see why.
Yeah, it's kind of a big song.
Yeah, and so we're going to talk about both of them, because while The Dripping Tap was released as a Giz song, Satanic Slumber Party, which really could, I think, have been released as a Tropical Fuckstorm song or EP alone.
Sure.
It was released as a joint EP between the two bands.
Right.
Even though it was primarily put together by
TFS.
Tropical Fuckstorm.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it sounds a lot more like Tropical Fuckstorm than it sounds like Giz.
Sure, yeah. I haven't listened to much Tropical Fuckstorm, but I listened to one of their albums this week and I didn't like it.
See, I
didn't like it much.
I've been listening to Tropical Fuckstorm a lot. We'll get back to that at the end of our episode today.
Oh, will we?
Yes, we will. A little surprise. I have really, really been enjoying Tropical Fuckstorm.
I maybe need to give them another shot.
I think you have to listen to them in the right way.
Oh, okay.
Definitely
it's like The People's Joker. You can watch it wrong.
Yeah, I think you can listen to Tropical Fuckstorm wrong.
Okay.
But I really liked it. I thought that from the moment we heard Satanic Slumber Party, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
I have to listen to more.
Yeah.
And so I did. So we'll start with The Dripping Tap, and then we'll move into Satanic Slumber Party. Keep in mind that we are not podcasters about Tropical Fuckstorm.
Nope, and we don't desire to become them.
And so when we talk about Satanic Slumber Party, we are going to be sort of swinging against the current here, that this is not the band that we're really getting to know.
And we might not go quite as much in depth with it just because it's less in our pocket.
It's not Giz. It has Giz in it.
Yeah, but it's not Giz.
Whereas The Dripping Tap, even though that jam did grow out of the Tropical Fuckstorm Giz jam, this is a Giz song.
Yeah, it is.
And it sounds like a Giz song. Particularly, it sounds, in a lot of ways, like an early Giz song.
I would agree with that, except it sounds like an early Giz song with the technicality of a modern Giz song.
It sounds like a modern Giz song with the recording technique of an early Giz song, is I think what I would say. Because it's got kind of that iPhone recording lo-fi sound to it.
Sure.
And
it's worth noting, none of the members of Tropical Fuckstorm appear on The Dripping Tap. They took elements of the jam, but they re-recorded all of it, and none of TFS is actually present for this.
That's right. And so I guess let's start from the stop. Yeah, start from the start.
Start from the start. It has kind of a chill opening right away.
Yeah.
It's vibes. You come into it and you're like, okay, I see what we're doing. This is fun.
I had heard that section of the jam on on the How to Gut a Fishies video. I had heard about how this was one of everybody's favorite jam songs. I was not expecting something slow and soulful.
Yeah, with Ambi coming out right out of the gate with the dripping tap. It's so slow.
Yeah,
it's so croony.
And it's got more of that croony, soulful quality to it than I ever could have expected, because that's just not something that we've heard from them before. Wikipedia referred to the Dripping Tap as being like stoned soul in part. I think that's a great term for it. I'm not sure if that's a genre unto itself, but if it is, I gotta listen to more.
I've never really listened to soul music outside of like Aretha Franklin.
Sure. And I'm not saying it's like this is a rock song for sure. But like the vocal quality that Ambi gives, especially just like the way that this all sounds in its slower sections, I would say it's soulful as an adjective more than soul as a genre.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you then.
It's Ambi. I'm so happy we get the Ambi to start. And something that I love throughout this entire song.
Yes.
That you notice right away as you listen. The lead guitar continues through the vocals. It doesn't give way.
Interesting.
In a lot of music, and a lot of rock music, the lead guitar plays when the vocals aren't.
Right. Or like
Here,
in post-grunge, where you'll hear like the most of the riff happen in between vocal lines. Here you just get it.
right here, throughout much of the song, not all of it, but a lot of it, nobody really gives way for anybody else.
Yeah, no, this song is relentless.
This song is relentless. It is noisy, high energy, aggressive jamming, and I loved it from listen one.
Oh yeah, from listen one, I was immediately going, "Yep, this is Giz again. Let's do it."
Yeah, this is, I think Noel's...
It's got the Motoric krautrock thing going on.
Yeah, the very first thing that Noel said, and one of the few things that he's allowed herself to say about this before we recorded was, "Oh, they've learned how to make rock again."
Yeah.
And I gotta say, this is by a wide margin my favorite thing they've done since COVID that we've heard so far. Like, you have to go at least back to Rat's Nest before I think that you find something on par or better than the Dripping Tap. And I'm not sure that I even inherently like Rat's Nest more. Just like, it clears KG, LW, Butterfly, and Timeland for me.
I would almost agree if it weren't for the Joey tracks.
I'm not saying that there aren't good that there aren't good things. Intrasport fucks.
Intrasport fucks. And the thing is, I don't know if I like this better than Intrasport.
See, that's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's a good criticism of my position here. I still believe my position, but I respect yours.
I believe that your position is spiritually true.
I respect your position. I respect the idea that Intrasport is in the same category.
Okay.
I think that's unlike saying, "Oh yeah, Timeland is better than the Dripping Tap," which is not something that you said.
It's not something I would say.
But I think that if somebody said that, I wouldn't respect that opinion. I do respect Intrasport being in the competition.
Sure. And after Ambi's verse, we want to talk about what Ambi's verse is about at all?
I mean, it's about the same thing that the entire lyric for the entire song is.
Yeah?
It's an environmentalism song.
Yeah, it is.
It's Giz. It's an environmentalism song.
It's extremely an environmentalism song. We get the lyric, "Future's hanging on by a thread with our heads in the sand." Woo!
Yeah, the Dripping Tap is sea level rise.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to stop it. The people in the suits aren't going to stop the climate change problem because they profit off of it.
Right.
Like it's the lyrics are just classic Giz, simple environmentalism song. They're not the most interesting part of the song.
No, but they are important.
They're not bad lyrics. They're just, very classic Giz.
Yeah. We get to the first big instrumental in this song, and there's this huge motherfucking guitar solo. And I want to stress to you, if you haven't heard this song recently, it is in fact a huge motherfucking guitar solo.
Yeah, and yet it's very similar to what they were just playing on guitar under the lyrics. Like,
yeah.
They're playing the solo while they're not soloing.
It just comes back so
and
big.
It's strong, and it's huge, and it's got all these
feels
trills,
like a jam session.
So many trills. Yeah, it's definitely a jam.
I mean, ever since Rat's Nest, we've been hearing trills all over the place.
Yeah, it's so much jammy, noisy, big sound.
It doesn't feel particularly written outside of like a few riffs. It feels like they really let themselves just go, "Okay, you play it and we'll put it to tape."
It's so good. There's now we get a return to like the ambi soulful section, but now it's fast with rapid keyboard chord stabs, drums, and just God, I love ambi.
Yeah.
There's just it's so noisy. It's got that lo-fi recording.
In this instrumental section, there's a moment where the lead guitar is going just really loud, and you can hear the lead guitar, and you're following it, and the lead guitar is doing incredible things. And then underneath it, there are two more lead guitars also doing incredible things, just slightly lower in the mix.
Yeah.
And so you have three lead guitars all running at the same time, all playing different stuff, and it's
chaotic.
It's chaotic as hell.
I am so excited to
and
eventually...
the harmonicas in there to beef it up.
Oh, yeah. The harmonicas, they're throughout. And it's Ambi at his most, like... Giz, yeah. It's just harmonica being treated like a guitar. It's great. I cannot wait to see this live, and I'm so sad that it was the final track of Field of Vision last year.
Because that means we probably won't get it at Field of Vision
this
year.
Seems unlikely. I mean, we don't know that they're going to do the no repeats thing, but like clearly it got a special treatment last year, being the final song of the entire festival. So like they're probably going to want to switch things up.
Yeah.
It's something that they're known to do.
Yeah.
So like, does that mean we're not going to get Field of Vision Dripping Tap? I mean, I would be so happy if we got it, but we're probably not gonna, and I have to make peace with that.
No, we'll have to see them do Dripping Tap at the Gorge.
Come back to the Gorge, Giz, please. Do it, please.
Yeah.
Remlinger Farms is fine too.
It's not.
It's not as good, but like I'd still see them there.
Sure.
I'd see them. I mean, I would drive out of Washington to see them for sure. I mean, we're going to drive out of Washington to see them. But just come back to the Pacific Northwest, please, and play the Dripping Tap.
And then we get to the next verse. And what do we get right before the next verse?
No, tell me.
A woo.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So there are, I think, two quotes from reviews of this track that I would like to just quote here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guitar World says that this is a drop D Mixolydian guitar madness set to an irresistible motoric beat, complete with wailing harmonica. And
that's accurate.
That is the most accurate description of this song that you could possibly
That's
give.
textual.
It's textual. It is, I think, so underselling it.
Yeah.
Stereo Gum similarly said something just true, but completely underselling it as well.
Yeah.
A Cosmisha rave up, punctuated by soulful outbursts worthy of Hall & Oates.
I haven't listened to a lot of Hall & Oates, but I wouldn't have drawn that comparison myself.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. That's kind of why I put that in there. And after reading those, my initial thought is I should probably listen to more krautrock.
Oh, I was going to say I should listen to more Hall & Oates.
And I really should listen to more krautrock, but I didn't. Over these last 2 weeks, I didn't. Because
we should really check out New at some point.
Yeah, I should probably check out Noi.
Noi, that's what they're called.
Yeah, Noi. I should probably check out Can.
Yep.
And
God,
I was going
to go to Can.
And I was going to, but then we heard Satanic Slumber Party, and I ended up just spending the entire 2 weeks on Tropical Fuckstorm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the touches of soul are new from them. We haven't really heard them do that much before. The closest we've gotten are some of the other Ambi leading man moments.
Yeah.
You know, the Let Me Mend the Pasts. Which are great. You know, we've talked about him too much.
We have. Let's stop talking about Ambi for a little bit. And let's talk about this verse that Stu sings. Well, I don't think it's fair to say that Stu sings it. Because they are all credited with having done vocals on this track.
Right, but Stu's voice is the most prominent.
Stu's is the most prominent, but apparently they're all mixed in there somehow.
Yeah, and you can tell that the voice is being doubled or tripled or quintupled or sextupled. But it is Stu's voice that is clearly the most prominent in the other verses.
Yeah, it's definitely primarily Stu. And we get this big verse that's doing a lot of really cool stuff, and it ends with "Don't get drowned." He. And the hee-hee-hees are very Michael Jackson, and something I did not see coming.
I love the hee-hee-hees.
The hee-hee-hees are joyous.
It makes me happy. I do have enough whimsy for the dripping tap.
Oh, thank God. If you didn't, I was going to be so concerned.
Yeah, I like being whimsical.
I wasn't prepared to fight you on this one.
You were not ever going to have to. I have not made a secret of how much I love this song.
And then, let's see, we get the first big hook, which is really technically the second chorus of the song. We get the first big hook with left the tap on. And so it's all those phrases that open with the line, left the tap on, left the tap on,
Yeah.
You know, the lyrics I don't remember in the second half of each phrase. Which is
I always remember agua flowing in because of the, like, okay, sure, we'll throw in one word of Spanish.
Yeah, of course, why not?
Yeah.
It's a great chorus. It's fun. It's singable. It's danceable even.
Yeah.
No, I
like,
don't say that about a ton of Giz stuff.
I definitely move to this song.
Oh, yeah.
I bop around to this song. This one gets my ass shaken.
And then there's a huge fucking guitar solo between chorus 2, the first chorus 2, and the second chorus 2. Because it does go chorus 2, guitar solo, chorus 2 again.
Yep. Yeah, there is a lot of repetition, lyrical repetition, thematic repetition, just song structure repetition.
See, this is where a lazy producer would just take the same thing and copy and paste it.
But they don't.
They're braver than that. They're bolder than that. They take the time and effort more than that. So we get new stuff here, even though it's playing the same thing.
And I know I've criticized some of their songs in the past for repetition. Not that I've disliked them, but they've generally, if they're very repetitive, been a little bit lower ranked for me when I think about, you know, what songs I like or don't like. Check out Butterfly 3000. I did that for Ya Love.
Yeah,
I said that for
you
Ya
really,
Love.
you really went to task on that one.
I didn't go that hard. I didn't go as hard as I went on Made in Timeland.
You've never gone as hard as you went on Made in Timeland.
Because I'm right.
Yeah.
But, you know, the repetition doesn't bother me here because the energy is just so infectious.
Yeah.
And the groove is so strong. But also, it didn't start with the repetition. And so by the time the repetition is really kicking in, by the time we get left the tap on over and over again, which, you know, does have the second half of each phrase being different, but then later on when we get to the chorus, drip, drip from the tap, don't slip, drip, drip from the tap, don't slip on the drip, over and over and over again. By the time we get there, I'm already so hooked into the song.
Right. And this is a song to be stoned to and to just let it flow over you.
Yeah, let the river carry you.
Yeah.
Let the river that flows from the tap, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like,
I don't
with
think I
Ya
want the
Love-
river that's coming from the tap in this song.
Yeah, but with Ya Love, it started with the repetition and
Sure.
had the more interesting lyrics afterwards.
Sure.
This did the opposite. It's better to do the opposite.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Let me get into it first.
So the next instrumental opens with my favorite riff of the week, the doo-doo-doo, 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 doo-doo-doo.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's such a good, solid riff. And you can build on that, and they do build on that. It's just bathed with solos over top of it. And at this point in my notes, I just wrote down, there's no good way to just talk about a guitar solo, is there? Because what am I going to say? It's a cool guitar solo? I've already said that for the last two guitar solos.
Yeah, it's kind of. I didn't take a ton of notes on the specific solos because of that. Right?
No. I
like
like how many layers they have going. I like that they bring in the wah and the muted strings sometimes.
And I like that they just never let up.
Yeah.
This isn't a song for them to drop out and then come back. This is a song for them to just go.
Yeah.
And they have the soulful sections the ambi sections to break it up. But the instrumentation just never lets up.
Right.
Right? It no matter what they do to change it up, they just keep going.
Yeah. And they keep going and they keep going until we get to the bridge. And the bridge, I think, must be the most singable part of the song and the thing that most people think of first when they think of the dripping tap.
I mean, it's got to be up there.
Because, like, it's just drip, drip from the tap, don't slip. Drip, drip from the tap, don't slip on the drip. Like, yeah, it's just that over and over, like 30,000 times.
Yeah, and the first time that I listened to it, I'm like, okay, that's stuck in my head forever now.
Yep. And we were both singing that by the time it got to the end of those repeats.
The
on the
very
first
first
listen.
time we listened. Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah,
so good.
it's singable. It's fun. I bet that goes hard as fuck at shows.
Yeah. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to see this live. If they don't play it at Field Division, which they probably won't, I will just have to keep chasing them until they do it.
And then in the middle of the bridge, they do something we haven't seen before in this song. They strip it back. And for a minute, all we get are hand claps, tambourine, and guitar. And then we get kind of like a gospel-y vocal thing going on. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about that at all? I didn't have any words for that.
I don't have any words for it in particular.
Yeah, there's like a gospel-y influenced thing going on with the vocals. I should have written down which specific lyrics we're at where it does that. But it's in the bridge. So I guess it's...
Drip, drip from the tap, don't slip. Drip, drip from the tap, don't slip on the drip.
Oh, that's right. The section, if you look at the lyrics, there's a section with parentheses after drip, drip from the tap, don't slip, that just says don't slip on the drip. That's where the gospel vocal comes in, just repeating it back.
Right,
yeah.
the entire bridge repeats the same
You're
lyrics.
right. Yep, I'm good. I'm dumb.
Yeah, but that's why we love you.
For verse 2, I wrote down the notes, hee hee hee. And then I wrote down another fucking instrumental. Oops, all solos.
Yeah, no, like that's kind of it. Is this song does jump around chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, verse. I mean, it's got song structure, but like,
Yeah.
it's
And then we end the song with chorus 2 for the third time, followed by chorus 1 for the third time.
right. Like, it's a lot of repetition, including in song structure, but it's high energy, infectious, noisy, jammy awesomeness.
It feels
I
like a
love it.
return to form
Yeah.
after years away.
Right, exactly. It's not the same as a Nonagon. It's not the same as a Mind Fuzz.
It's closest to Mind Fuzz,
But
in my
it's closer
opinion.
to Mind Fuzz than anything we've gotten since, in a way that just
Feels like coming home.
blew me away because I wasn't expecting this from them anymore.
Yeah.
Normally, we are surprised somehow when Giz does something different that we've never seen, even though we know that's what they do. This one was shocking because it was
A return to
form because it was Giz doing like classic Giz.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it so much.
And that's the motherfucking drip and tap.
All right, Satanic Slumber Party.
It's what it's all about.
3 parts of Satanic Slumber Party.
Shit, I should have said it's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, probably. There are 3 parts of Satanic Slumber Party. All of them are credited writing-wise to all of the members of both bands.
Yeah. Which I think is fair because they do take a lot from Hat Jam and splice it in.
Yes, both Satanic Slumber Party Part 2, Midnight in Sodom, and Satanic Slumber Party Part 3, Hoof and Horn, include quotes of some variation of the Hat Jam from different
demo sessions,
from different parts of that jam.
Yeah.
Part 1, though, Satanic Slumber Party Part 1, The Chairman's Portrait, is fully new composed,
Yes.
despite having Giz as
It's also like
writers
50
credited.
seconds.
It's 53 seconds long. It is a narrated introduction with only minimal underscoring. It is
kind of like almost spaghetti westernish from the guitars.
It is, very little bit of that kind of guitar at the start, but even that mostly fades away by the time that the lyric comes in. It does not derive from the Hat Jam. It is sort of just an introduction to the dark themes of the rest of the EP.
Right. And I don't think the lyrics even matter that much.
They are about some sort of weird cult-like event that happens at a place called the University of Heaven, which I don't think is real, in front of the chairman's portrait. The chairman's portrait is an interesting image, I think, and given that the lyrics include the idea of a struggle session where people read out their remorse, presumably before being killed, and the idea of the chairman's portrait very much brings to mind the idea of like the Cultural Revolution in China in the 1960s.
Okay.
Where the members of the Red Guard would round up dissidents, people that were deemed as insufficiently radical, insufficiently revolutionary, and bring them in front of the public and have them read out, forced apologies or remorse for whatever way they have presumably sinned against the party.
Yeah.
And then be executed. A really very dark period of history.
Sure.
I'm not sure exactly how it relates to the Satanic Slumber Party's other parts, but it is, I think, notable that there does seem to be this strong basis in the Cultural Revolution in those lyrics. And they're all said in this loud, very distorted whisper.
Yeah.
Which
It's
makes
definitely two layers of vocals where one of them is just a whisper.
Which makes for a very interesting, dark introduction to a dark EP.
Yeah.
The Dripping Tap, despite being this song that lyrically is depressing about how, climate change isn't going to be solved by anybody who actually has the power to solve it.
Yeah.
It's not a dark song.
No.
Satanic Slumber Party has darkness throughout.
Yeah, I've definitely pegged a few songs throughout the discography so far as being like, oh, that's the evil one on the album.
Yeah.
I can't do that with this record because it's all the evil one.
Yeah, Satanic Slumber Party from start to finish is evil.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
great.
they're going for. It's awesome.
It makes me want to care about TFS.
And I do. I liked it so much, I just dove in.
Midnight in Sodom, yeah.
Midnight in Sodom, Part 2. Here we have hip-hop.
I wouldn't call that hip-hop. I'd call it post-punk.
It's clearly rapped vocals.
No, that's post-punk spoken vocals. I would call that way closer to post-punk than I would rap. It sounds like Idols to me. But
Fair.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
No, I think that's fair. I don't listen to enough of that kind of punk
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I can be wrong about that one. I think I am.
I mean, I think that style as a whole definitely owes a debt to hip-hop
Yeah.
and to rap. But I don't think it crosses over the line.
That's fair. I mean, I certainly wouldn't say that it is an obviously hip-hop track. I do think
Here's
that
what
there
I'll
is
say.
rap.
It is more rap than the other parts of Ambies that have been called rap before Smoke and Mirrors.
See, I think that makes my position even less tenable. Because, yeah, sure, that is so obviously true, but, that's damning with faint praise. That, all right, fair. Yeah, I think you're probably right on this one. And you know what? The Fiona Kitchen, one of the members of Tropical Fuckstorm, specifically said about this particular track: 4 guitars, 3 drummers, 2 synths, bass, harmonica, electronic sax, and lots of singers and silliness. It's like Love Shack by the B-52s, except it's evil.
Even they're calling it evil.
Even they're calling it evil. But I would say that, yeah, Love Shack by the B-52s, I would not call that rap, and that is probably the most similar.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't drawn that vocal comparison, but you're right.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm wrong. It's not really rap. It's not hip hop. It is the B-52s, which is, again, it's good though. I promise it's good though.
It is good though. It's so much fun. We get 2 vocalists here. Gareth starts with the vocals, which goes really well. We get a really cool verse that's kind of got just a lot of images of various demonic characters, I guess.
Yeah, we've got some demons, Pazuzu and Balam, various demons or demonic characters from various world folklores, or also we end up with just some things that have dark associations.
Like Medusa.
The Gorgon from Greek myth, like the city of Sodom.
Right.
Which is listed as though it's another demon in the list, but is not.
Right.
But yeah, we get a bunch of characters and locations of darkness and evil. Although personally, I like sodomy.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great vice.
Great habit.
Not even a vice.
I disagree. Yeah, not a vice.
Not even a vice. We get a second vocalist coming in for a little bit. I don't know who that is. Do you know whose vocal that is?
I forgot to look it up.
Okay, that's fine.
It shouldn't be fine. Like, I should know.
We get a female vocal from TFS.
But
it's
all of the
really
other
good.
members of Tropical Fuckstorm, other than Gareth, are female.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
that.
him and 3 girls.
I guess I could have known that if I'd watched the music video critically.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's raucous. It's got a wailing guitar solo, very classic rock kind of guitar solo. At the start, we've got the very noisy, spring reverbed kind of lo-fi jam that is the Hat Jam. I mean, the Hat Jam is sprinkled throughout in sections in between these verses and choruses sung by Tropical Fuckstorm. It is somehow at the end of it, it is somehow the closest to Eyes Like the Sky that we've gotten since Eyes Like the Sky, and yet it's not even King Giz.
Okay, it is Fiona Kitchen that does vocals.
Okay. That was what I wanted to... That's what I thought, but I didn't actually know.
Yeah, it is Fiona.
Okay, that makes sense. It is so cool. It is about having a slumber party and inviting people over, and, like, you're summoning demons.
And playing with a Ouija board, which, as we all know, is a trademarked item by a board game company, not actually a big, scary, culty thing.
Sure, but it's the vibe in popular culture.
It is the vibe in popular culture. So they start playing with this Ouija board. Do you want to talk about the video as we talk about this?
Sure, we can talk about the video. I mean, I was just talking about the song itself, but it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Well, the thing
I think they go well together.
The thing I want to point out is that, like, they start playing with the Ouija board in the video, and it spells something out for them.
Yeah, so we've got...
As Ouija boards are known to do.
So let's rewind a little bit if we're going to talk about the video. Let's start at the start of the video.
Sure, let's start at the start of the video.
We have the 4 members of Tropical Fuckstorm dressed in very, like, 1920s, roaring 20s.
Yeah, like
flapper outfits. You know, think Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Think, like, everything that we know of the ostentatious, like, flamboyantly... like martini drinking prohibition era. Although I doubt there was prohibition in Australia.
I would be surprised.
And they're just sort of gathered around a table with a Ouija board.
It's all in black and white. They've got like little silent movie, little frames popping up with text in them.
Right at the start, yeah. And they're toasting their martinis, and we've got this fake degraded film effect over top of everything.
Oh yeah, very fake degraded film effect.
And they start with Gareth singing and everybody acting possessed.
Yep.
And they play with this Ouija board, which spells out KGLW.
Wonder what that could mean.
And when they do this, the Hat Jam starts, and we see Stu first and then the rest of King Giz appearing as spirits conjured by the board in bolts of lightning. And
the spirits are all in full color.
They're all in full color, kind of hologrammy.
Yeah, like blue tinged like a ghost or a hologram, yeah.
Yeah. And they're playing their instruments, or at least carrying them around, like superimposed over the video.
Yeah. But very well done. Like, it looks nice.
And they're in robes. But I think it's important that they look like spirits that are semi-real in the frame, but also removed.
Yeah.
They're all in robes. One of my favorite things happens in this moment as they're dancing to the jam as spirits. Ambi plays with giant fake tits from under his robe. He's just like...
They keep doing this to him.
You didn't even notice that.
I didn't.
Because I only noticed that the second time I watched the video, which was next to Noelle. And Noelle just completely ignored that moment as I had the first time.
Yeah, I missed that completely.
For the second time, I'm so glad I saw it, because somehow that is the eggiest moment we've gotten from Ambi.
And last album, we had him in a pink fucking dress.
Yep. And this time he's playing with fake tits under his robe.
I mean,
seriously, it's okay to transition. We will still love you.
More, even.
It's just a little pill. You dissolve it under your tongue, but honestly, don't do that. Skip straight to the injections.
Yeah, what you want is a little glass vial.
A little glass vial?
A little glass vial. Oh, watch Repo Men, the genetic opera. It's a great fucking movie.
It is not called Repo Men.
Repo Man, the genetic opera.
Isn't it just Repo, the genetic opera?
Is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Listen to Repo, the genetic opera. It's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, Repo Man is a completely different movie.
It is, and I know that. I was just conflating the two titles in my mind.
So yeah, they are also not at all part of the 1920s styling of the video.
No.
And then they turn the members of Tropical Fuckstorm using like lightning powers into toys and animals.
Specifically, I want to call out, they gave Gareth the head of a crocodile.
Yeah.
Which is, I love the crocodile references. I love the gator references.
Yeah. We get a dog dressed like a spider. We get a teddy bear.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we see some footage of the jam itself from
We do, which I thought was an interesting choice.
2019 sessions. And now the Tropical Fuckstorm members are also spirits.
Yeah.
Also superimposed over the image in that same hologrammy sort of appearance. Yeah, no, this one fucks. Love this song.
Yeah, this is so good. There's so much to like about the song. I could talk about it all day. I'm not going to. I'm just going to point out that the section with the lyrics, "Finally, it's love," is my favorite section of the song, where the Hat Jam like shredding is right behind it.
Yeah, so cool.
And it's just so much fun. And then after that, very, very, very briefly, there is a moment that feels like hyperpop.
Okay, I didn't make that connection.
Very briefly, there is like a moment that feels like hyperpop, and the levels of excited that got me are through the goddamn roof.
I did not notice anything sounding like hyperpop.
I did note that Tropical Fuckstorm's trading of vocals back and forth with each other.
Yes.
With the male vocal and the female vocal, it sounded very familiar to me, and it reminded me of something.
But you weren't able to figure out what?
No, I was. It's Stu and Ambi.
Jesus. Ambi, please. We need it.
We're going to get canceled now.
Oh, we are. We're absolutely going to get canceled.
Have we canceled anyone yet this episode?
Just ourselves.
Hey, Gareth, you're canceled. No,
Sure.
we did it.
Any particular reason?
I don't have one.
All right. Canceling me for my takes on Made in Timeland.
Honestly.
Cancel you for liking it.
Cancel us for thinking that cancellation is something so
Funny.
funny that it can just be turned into a joke.
For every episode and not run dry.
Yeah, and like, we're just demeaning the entire like movement, you know?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, great fucking song. I love the way that the jam itself is used as, like, in the video in particular,
Yeah.
a prop.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas in the song itself, it has these moments at the start and you know, this big moment in the middle of the song where the jam really breaks through. But also it can be relegated as necessary for the song.
Yes.
It is a song that has a lot of different things going for it.
Yeah.
A lot of different kinds of music all sort of being put together in a way that feels so natural. You don't really even notice that it's got so many different things going on.
Yeah, if you ask me to put a genre on this, I would say, I guess post-punk?
See,
Boy, that question mark's really loud at the end.
I mean, maybe that vocal is post-punky, but I don't think very much of the rest of it is.
It isn't.
It doesn't sound post-punk to me.
Only the vocal delivery.
And the reason I didn't even think of it as a post-punk vocal delivery, other than just I don't listen to a ton of post-punk, only a little bit, is that so little of it is.
Yeah.
And like I was happy enough to call it rap and be done with it, even if I was wrong. Like Tropical Fuckstorm as a band, like they do post-punk, they do art punk, they do various kinds of like psych rock and experimental rock and avant-garde shit. It's cool. They've got a lot of things going on, but I'm not sure that it's all like one clear genre.
Sure, and I don't think it is.
And that's okay. Tropical Fuckstorm can be their own genre. Speaking of Tropical Fuckstorm genre,
Up. I just looked up Satanic Slumber Party on Rate Your Music. Would you like to know the genres that they say it comprises of?
on Rate Your Music,
Yeah.
should I particularly think that they have a good...
Rate Your Music is kind of like the definitive, like, if you want to know what genre something is, you check Rate Your Music.
Interesting. Okay. I've never used Rate Your Music.
So I'm going to leave one genre out, and we'll come back to that. But for the rest of them, psychedelic rock, experimental rock, noise rock, dark ambient, tape music, heavy psych, and industrial.
Well, the tape music isn't for Midnights in Sodom.
No. But, like, I think the industrial definitely partially is.
Yeah, although that could also be for the Chairman's Portrait.
But also the psych rock, I think, is the highest thing. Experimental rock, way up there.
Yeah, I would say experimental rock.
Yeah.
But, and psych rock for the jam itself.
Yeah.
But let's get back to that tape music.
Yeah,
And what I assume is one you skipped, musique concrète?
It was actually sound collage.
Okay, sound collage is similar. There's a relationship there. Yeah, let's
talk about Hoof and Horn.
Yeah, Satanic Slumber Party Part 3, Hoof and Horn.
I joked about this at the top of the episode as being everyone's favorite definitive Gibbs song.
Yeah, this is fucking wild.
This is the last thing I could have expected. If you'd asked me to make a list, it wouldn't have been in the top 300 guesses.
It is about 13 minutes long.
Yep.
It is musique concrète.
Which is a genre that I knew existed.
Yeah, so it's less of a genre and more of a movement.
Okay.
So let's just first talk about what it sounds like, and then I can talk about like what musique concrète is.
It sounds like nonsense.
It's
like structured nonsense.
It's sound collage, at least in this case, it is sound collage.
Okay.
Musique concrète is often sound collage. It doesn't have to be, but it most often is.
Okay.
So we have a bunch of found sounds, a bunch of like ambient soundtracky synthy sounds, melodic percussion like xylophones. We also have bird sounds, clips of someone describing what birds were presumably even listening to at parts. We have sections from the jam. We have literally the sound of a dripping tap, which is my favorite moment.
Yeah.
It's just various recorded sound.
Yeah.
Things that either they found or existed in other work that they could clip. It is a form of sampling in a way.
I kind of got that.
And it is layered together to create its own piece.
Okay.
And I say piece and not song because it comes out of what is generally known as classical music or Western art music. More like conservatory and orchestra sort of background, composers rather than...
Yeah, is this music school shit?
It's music school shit.
Okay.
Yeah. We also have like theremins.
Sure. Bring back the theremin. We had it very early on in the discography.
Yeah,
it's cool to have it more.
Remember when Eric played the theremin for Giz?
Long time passing.
See, here's the thing. I don't, because at the time I remember going, oh, there was supposed to be theremin in this? I didn't notice the theremin.
Yeah, that was how I felt too. There was like one moment where we noticed it.
Yeah. There's a moment where like the sound collage fades out and we get some of the some of the jam.
Yeah.
But like it comes back. There are moments where we have like this creepy low female voice with rhythmic chant singing.
Yeah.
We all come from the goddess. Unto her we shall return. I like that part.
Yeah, that part's good.
There's just a bunch of...
And there aren't a lot of
sounds.
lyrics in this one.
No, there's just a bunch of sounds. And so what is musique concrète? It is a movement that began largely in the 1940s. There were precursors to it, as you might expect. But it really began in the 1940s with French composer Pierre Schaeffer, with the intent to separate music out from the constraints of musical notation, melody, harmony, rhythm, meter, and traditional instrumentation.
In other words, take your music theory and throw it out the fucking window.
Right. The raw material of it is recorded sounds that get modified using tape techniques or signal processing. Originally, that was all analog signal processing, but over time, digital techniques were applied as well, often but not always assembled as a sound collage. These recordings can be of instruments, voices, nature. They can be synthesized. They can come from anything. And it's not always intended that the original source of the sounds are recognizable, although sometimes they are. There are two names that I recognize that are from the world of musique concrète. Those names are Pierre Boulez, Boulez.
Okay.
I don't speak French.
Boulez sounds close enough.
And Karl-Heinz Stockhausen.
Okay.
But I haven't really listened to much Boulez or Stockhausen. I know of them more than I know them.
Sure.
But like I know of them as musique concrète composers.
Sure.
But like to me, they're very much composers, not like rock musicians.
Not songwriters.
They're not songwriters. Yeah. But many others have contributed. Those are just the two names that I personally recognized when doing my research here. Okay. In the 20s and 30s, when people were like doing sort of the pre-musique concrète work, the basic idea here was that people from this classical music world, people like Stravinsky, started to ask questions like, hey, gramophones exist now. And that means that people can listen to music in their homes and they don't need to come out to hear a live performance.
Yes.
And so we can now make music that is designed for the gramophone. We can make music that is designed not to be played live for the first time ever.
So we can start thinking about what can we make that's impossible to play?
What kind of music can we make if we don't have the requirement of playing it? Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of where the Beatles found themselves too.
Exactly. And so the Beatles actually used a lot of the techniques developed by musique concrète movement.
Okay.
And the Beatles are one of the ways that we see the techniques of musique concrète and the ideas of it filter into popular music and rock.
Okay.
For the first time. I have the Beatles in my notes here as doing that very specifically.
Fascinating.
So, yeah, what can we make now that music doesn't have to be live? What can we make for the home?
Yeah.
For recording. And so they started to develop new techniques like varying playback speed on recorded sound so that you could pitch things up or pitch things down, which would change the length, change the timbre, along with speed and pitch. They started experimenting with things like delay and filtering and feedback and polyphonic tape recording, some of the earliest experiments in synthesis, and some of the earliest experiments in stereophonic sound. What became elektronische Musik that developed into, you know, the synthesized music of like of German artists in like the electronic music scene also started with this sort of, you know, more tape-based music concrète. And then in the 60s and onwards, including the Beatles, but certainly not just the Beatles, they started experimenting with these sorts of techniques in rock and popular music. Revolution 9 is entirely musique concrète.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's entirely musique concrète.
Yeah, I've heard that one maybe once.
It is a fucking wild song. I normally used to skip it when I listened to the White Album, except for the time when I was listening to the White Album on a road trip out to the Grand Canyon where we nearly ran out of gas and had to limp into a gas station well after dark in the middle of the petrified forest in Arizona.
Cool.
Which was the right vibe for Revolution 9.
Sure.
But even the Beatles on other tracks used some of these techniques. Tomorrow Never Knows was notable as an early track that brought that into rock, but also Strawberry Fields Forever being for the benefit of Mr. Kite and I Am the Walrus used some of these techniques.
Yeah.
In the 70s, we've got like Pink Floyd with the cash register sounds on Money.
Sure.
Could be considered as using some of these techniques.
I'm assuming Time would also count for that.
Presumably, yeah.
So I have a fun story about that album.
Yeah?
When I was a kid working at summer camp, I used to fall asleep listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
And then you'd get to Time and it would wake you up because it's a fucking alarm clock?
Yeah, because it's a perfect album to fall asleep to, except for the fucking alarm clock smack dab in the middle of it.
Great album. I would never think about falling asleep to Dark Side of the Moon. It's so good. I just want to listen.
Great album to fall asleep to. Unfortunately, great album to be woken awake from suddenly to.
Yeah. So And you could also say that as an indirect descendant of musique concrète, it's not like known to be an influence, but you could definitely say it is an indirect descendant of like sampling and turntable DJing from hip hop.
Sure.
Right?
Because like the idea of sampling comes out of musique concrète.
Yeah, and it was originally like hip hop was very much this live performance thing. It was, let's take these old records and we'll mix them and rap over them and, you know, extend these break beats and, you know, use these turntables to get these particular sections of these songs and line up with the, you know, we might change the playback speed on the record player to get things to line up better between two different records, keeping a particular like tempo or feel going. But then especially as sampling technology developed, hip hop went from being a live art form to being a studio art form.
Yes.
That really couldn't happen until the technology got there.
Okay.
And that's very similar to what happened with musique concrète, where it went from, okay, we have live classical music and now we can do things for the home studio or for the home in the studio that we would never have been able to do live.
Sure. Okay.
And that involves things like sampling and production. And that's something that you see in hip hop as well. So yeah, just that's musique concrète. I don't really have that much to say about the song as a whole because
neither do I.
It's a lot of just different selections of tape. I think it sounds really cool.
It is really cool. It is definitely cool. It's just not what I was expecting.
It's not what I was expecting. Really would not have guessed that this was going to be on there. Would not have guessed that somebody would have taken this Hat Jam and said, you know what I should do with this? I should make some musique concrète with it.
Never.
It would never have occurred to me that that's... But like, I'm glad that they did because it's cool.
Yeah.
And you know, if this comes up on my shuffle for whatever reason, you know, there's a good chance that I'll skip it because I just won't be in the mood for it because it is 12 minutes of found sound.
Right.
But also, there are plenty of times where I'm going to listen to it because I do enjoy it.
Sure.
And also, we all come from the goddess. Unto her we shall return.
I did try to Google the lyric hoof and horn to see if it was a reference to anything else or if that's a phrase that's been used in literature a lot. Do you know what I found?
No.
About 100 upscale restaurants. Just tons of upscale restaurants.
Okay.
All named hoof and horn. So I couldn't figure out, maybe it is a literary reference or a reference to a movie or something, but I would never know.
Sorry, I did say something incorrect earlier. I said that all of the tracks on Satanic Slumber Party have writing credits from all of the members of both bands. That is not true. One band member is left out. That's Lukey.
Lukey.
Also, I guess technically a second person is left out, which is Eric Moore.
Because Genius has Eric Moore credited as a writer.
Oh, okay. Good. But not Lukey?
Not Lukey.
Okay. So then I just forgot to note that in my notes. All right. Yeah. Anything more about Hat Jam LP?
No. No, I'm
awesome.
Good. We did it. We got through all of our assigned listening for this week, and we're still in one piece, and we're still under 2 hours.
No, we're not.
Fuck!
Just over. Just barely. Yeah, this is really cool. I will never be able to find, I'm sure, one of the 1,000 remaining copies, or one of the 1,000 copies that were created. I don't know how many remain of Hat Jam LP as a full unit. But we do have a vinyl copy of just Satanic Slumber Party, and I will put it on from time to time. I would love to get one of those 1,000 copies, but I can't imagine that they're cheap.
The last one sold on Discogs went for $55.68.
Huh. All right. I would have expected more.
So we could definitely easily get a copy of this if we wanted. There's one for sale right now for $53.
What quality? We can figure this out another time. I'm interested. This is so cool.
Near mint.
Hell yeah.
Oh, unavailable in the United States because it's shipping from Australia and they don't want to ship over here. So for one that we can actually get, $66.
All right. Add 60 cents, so it's 666, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me what you have been listening to.
This week, I've been listening to Protest the Hero's new album, Within. Protest the Hero is this progressive metalcore band that's known for having really sweeping, soaring, high guitar lead parts, really high vocals, not a lot of screaming. It's just this really soaring metalcore that's fun and feels like going on an adventure. And so that's what I've been listening to for the past couple of weeks. Is I've just been playing this album on repeat, along with Loath's new progressive metalcore record, A Stranger to You. These are not the same kind of metalcore. I would not even class these as remotely the same genre. If you like one, you might not like the other, but I definitely think you should give a track from each of them a listen because they're doing really cool things. And they're both really pushing the genre as to what they can be. And I just think that's fun. So that's what I've been listening to this week. Yael, what have you been listening to this week?
Mostly Tropical Fuckstorm and trying to listen to some electronica.
Fair enough. Which TFS records have you liked?
The first three are the ones I've listened to so far. That's A Laughing Death in Meat Space, Brain Drops, and Deep States. I particularly liked the first two.
Okay.
The third one is also very good. Like, I have liked everything I've heard pretty much from Tropical Fuckstorm. I'm going to keep listening to their discography. They're very good.
Yeah. And with that, if you have any like essential electronic albums that we need to hear, send them our way.
Please. I am looking for recommendations. I want to hear more. We have been doing our best to figure out what to listen to, but we want your thoughts.
We want your feedback. We want your input. We are currently taking submissions for electronic music that we will listen to if you recommend it. And with that,
next time, Omnium Gatherum. Thanks, y'all.
Next time is Omnium. Oh, I'm so excited for Omnium Gatherum. See ya. Quick editor's note from Noel. The next couple of episodes might not be on schedule because we are going to Field of Vision and we are recording stuff at Field of Vision, and getting all of that edited and everything is going to take some time because we're going to be at Field of Vision. So hold on for a little bit. We will be back soon.